When I tell you to imagine the 2011 era of Ninjago, what first comes to your mind? The glorious pilot episodes, the incredibly nostalgic sets, the Ninjago DS video game, or even the Ninjago Kai sleeping bag? I know that's the first thing that pops into my head. Okay, well, after the Kai sleeping bag, the next thing about Ninjago in 2011 that comes to my mind are the Ninjago cards, which at the beginning of the franchise were a massive staple, being a pretty big part of Ninjago's master plan to trick children into dedicating their lives to the series, and my god, did it work. In the 2000s and 2010s, people were going crazy for these pieces of collectible cardboard, so it only made sense for LEGO to take advantage of the impressionable minds of children and create an entire collectible card game to go along their newest original IP. Need I remind you of how popular Pokemon cards were, and still are? Just imagine a Ninjago card like this being listed online for over $1 million. As it has been made very clear, LEGO first introduced the Ninjago card game in the first year of Ninjago in 2011, with each spinner set coming with its own set of cards and a few certain sets of the 2011 collection coming with them as well. LEGO really wanted to get kids hooked on collecting and using these things in playground battles, beating the ever-living snot out of each other over the Flame Pit card. I certainly wouldn't blame anyone for mortally wounding someone in order to get their hands on some of these cards, as they all feature some incredible artwork. I wouldn't mind getting some of these pieces of art turned into posters and plastered them across my walls. Actually, maybe not this one. I feel like I wouldn't be able to sleep ever again. The card game would continue into 2012, with the cards once again being included in each and every spinner set of the year, giving us even more pieces of art that are hands down some of the best we've ever gotten for Ninjago ever. Unfortunately, 2012 would be the final year of the card game, as with 2013 and onwards, LEGO would stop including these types of cards in Ninjago sets, which is a massive shame, as I think the cards were such a big part of Ninjago's identity, and with the battling aspect, provided a whole lot of extra content and value along with the actual sets themselves. It would have been great if LEGO kept these cards going all the way up until Dragons Rising, as I really wish we got to see the newer characters and designs in the art style of the cards. Don't you start to fret yet though, as LEGO wasn't about to let all of that potential money from card collectors go to waste, as in 2016 they brought back the idea of Ninjago cards, but this time as its very own dedicated trading card game removed from the mainline sets. Certainly a lot more questionable quality compared to the 2011 and 2012 cards, but they serve their function of being useless cardboard. Blue Ocean's trading cards began in 2016 and are still going strong today. The cards covering pretty much any Ninjago character you could ever want to collect. Yes, that's right, Daryl Smith fans, even you get a card for some ungodly reason. These newer cards are nowhere near as good looking as the previous card game, but every now and again they certainly do make a banger card, which makes me question whether or not I really do need to eat that week. For some reason, these cards are only available in European countries, which makes these cards a bit harder to collect than the first trading card game. Why LEGO's decided to keep the rest of the world from wasting their money on these cards, I have no idea. I thought all they wanted to do with Ninjago was milk it dry of every cent they could ever make. Besides LEGO including miniature versions of Ninjago cards in certain sets so that your minifigures can waste their money too, that's pretty much it for Ninjago cards, or at least that's what we've been made to believe. As what if I were to tell you that there exists an entirely different set of Ninjago cards that have gone undocumented for well over 10 years? I guess I would be slightly stretching the truth, but I would still be right, as today we'll be taking a gander at a set of Ninjago cards that I am willing to bet not a single person watching this video will know of, and if you did already know about these cards, keep it to yourself, come on please, this is the only thing I have left in life. The Ninjago cards we'll be looking at are probably the strangest batch of Ninjago related products I've ever laid my eyes on, and trust me, I have looked at some very strange and weird Ninjago products, so that certainly says a lot. To start us off, let's first start with how I even found these cards in the first place. It was a regular normal day of forcing myself to consume as much Ninjago content as humanly possible when I decided to look up Ninjago Slop. Don't even ask. I got the usual results I was expecting to see, but all the way at the bottom of the page it was the most unexpected and interesting result that little did I know would end up sending me down a massive rabbit hole, being this image right here. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm looking at either. Looking a bit closer at this bizarre Ninjago card I just discovered, it led me to a wiki page all about a batch of products known as Wacky packages. Having no idea as to what a Wacky packages was, the next logical step was of course to investigate further, and my god, I wish I didn't. Wacky packages is a series of trading cards and stickers that are all meant to be parodies based off of other popular brands and products. I love me some Weird Al as much as the next guy, so why don't we see what kind of parodies they've made over the years. We've got the Amazing Spider-Man 2, Pooper Mario Duty Lands, and The Legend of Smelda Break of the Wind. As you can tell, the majority of these wacky cards really just boil down to gross out and slightly edgy humour. I genuinely question any parent that would get their kid something that looks like this. It seems like Wacky Packages has practically covered about everything, which does of course include our favourite plastic makers, Lego. Excluding Ninjago, they've done a handful of Lego cards, with their party of Lego friends being actually, unironically, terrifying. Like, oh my fucking god, how are they allowed to sell something like this to kids? This thing looks ripped right out of a horrible creepypasta. I can't wait to see this thing in my nightmares for the next 2 weeks. With some background established, let's shove this back into the deepest pit of hell where it belongs, and circle back to this Ninjago sticker they made, which, thankfully, is nowhere near as horrifying than that other Lego parody card. This wonderfully strange Ninjago card was released by Wacky Packages in 2013, giving us the masterpiece known as Lugee Ninjagoo, Masters of Spit Jitsu, which, as it says in the box, truly is the spitting image of a fun toy. I swear to fucking god, if I see one single Hawk to a joke in the comments, I'm going to blow my brains out. I find this card to be both extremely disgusting, but also can't help but find it extremely funny as well. The phlegm is mightier than the sword isn't exactly a sentence I ever thought would be used for Ninjago, and that Ninja Bib included in this fake set sounds perfect for the average rebooted fan. After seeing this piece of art, what would you think a Ninjago fan with little self-respect for themselves would do? Move on with their life and never think about this party ever again? As if. I did the most logical thing I could think of and bought my very own copy of Lugee Ninjagoo. I feel like I should take a shower after holding this. It's sort of surreal having this actually in person. I forgot that this is an actual product that you can buy and not just a meme a 10-year-old made on the internet. I'd love to put this sticker on my laptop, but I think my virginity is protected enough. Lugee Ninjagoo surprisingly wasn't the only time that Wacky Packages dared to touch Ninjago, as they made 2 more cards and you bet your bottom dollar that I got those 2 as well. Somebody really ought to take away my eBay privileges. In honor of the Ninjago movie in 2017, Wacky Packages created this card, advertising a parody of the Ninjago movie known as Loco Ninjago No Mercy, with a wonderfully witty tagline of Peace be with you, until Sunday school, mimicking this very poster of the actual Ninjago movie, but now with a nun instead of Lloyd, so a pretty big improvement over the original. Getting this card didn't exactly break the bank for me, only really costing me the rest of the little self-respect I still had. But if you wanted to burn even more money on something as stupid as this, your prayers are answered, as there exists a different variant of this very Ninjago movie inspired card that currently has an asking price of over $200. Looking at the card, I do not know as to how they ended up at the conclusion that this thing is worth more than 50 cents, but I guess I just do not understand the wacky world of Wacky Packages. And here we have the final Ninjago base card made by Wacky Packages, released in 2019 and being a fake deluxe blending system of the name Ninjago, that hyphen really saving them from a massive lawsuit. Featuring an almost identical image of Kai from this spinner card. From the looks of it, this is meant to be a parody of both Ninjago and an actual Ninja Blender product, which is certainly a lot more creative than Ninjagoo. Unfortunately, or fortunately, that's all the Ninjago cards that Wacky Packages have produced that I've been able to find. There are a few different variants of the cards, but besides the artist card for Ninjago, they're nothing special, and right now, I'm not that obsessed to get them all. Believe it or not, but my frontal lobe is fully developed, I think. I'm honestly super surprised that these things have pretty much gone under the radar for so long. With how super obsessed with Ninjago us Ninjago fans are, you would expect these cards to have some sort of relevance even if they're not 100% official. The Ninjago Wiki doesn't even have a single page about these things, and they have an entire page dedicated to milk for God's sake. If the unofficial Ninjago manga can get a page, then so can Masters of Spit Jitsu. Actually, on second thought, maybe it's a good thing I'm the only one cursed with the knowledge of these cards. I dread what kind of things people would say about this. 2019 was the last time we got a Wacky Packages card for Ninjago, and a lot has changed for the brand, so I wonder if they'll ever do Ninjago again. Surely it's just a matter of time before they do, and for all we know there's plenty more Ninjago party products somewhere out there in the world, and I for one will make it my mission that they will never be found and will forever be lost. With owning these 3 cards, the Ninjago manga, the Ninjago Easter egg, and this Ninjago stationery set, I've fully come to terms with myself becoming the Ninjago fan that is unreasonably obsessed with the weirder and stranger Ninjago items, and I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. Oh, you have an NRGJ? I'd like to see you write your manifesto with that.